They did it.
Risk. She grades on risk. What kind of risks did you take as an artist? Because that's how you grow. So interesting that she would tell me this morning when we're going to talk about stretching your comfort zone, okay? Because that is specifically what she's doing. So with a handout, you all recognize this, right? This is one of my favorite illustrations of your comfort zone and where the magic happens. In other words, you don't grow, stretch, achieve very much at all in your comfort zone. It feels good. It's your favorite blanket, you know, but not too much happens there, okay? And that's probably why we like it. So the thought of abandoning our comfort zone is really scary for most people. So I'm going to talk to you today about an alternate way, which is to stretch your comfort zone. Stretch. Put your arms out if you can. Don't hit your neighbor though. Okay? Get a good stretch. All right? That's what we're going to do to our comfort zone. All right? So if you flip over to the reverse, we have a stellar illustration. Don't tell my daughter I'm not the artist in the family. Okay? I added the stick figures in to show you all my artistic ability. Okay? But you'll see now I've kind of done this as a Venn diagram. So your comfort zone can actually stretch on over to where the magic happens. You don't have to leap. You can just stretch it over there, okay? And in the middle, of course, is yes, all right? Because you're there. So I'm going to talk to you about some ways to stretch your comfort zone and to grow. All right, that's what we're going to talk about next. So obviously I'm going to say do some journaling. You know, I'm all about the writing. So do this in 2 columns. Think big and bold. What do you want? What is in your way? That's how you're going to need to stretch your comfort zone. Okay? Most of you have a pretty good idea of this already. But write it down and look at it. Okay? Feel it. Deal with it. Okay, you want to try some new stuff. Go out to eat some ethnic cuisine that you haven't tried before. There's a world of tasted experiences out there. So I said to my son, why don't you and Lauren come up and go out for some Indian food with us? And he said, yeah, we don't really care much for Indian food. And I said, how often have you had it? And he said, well, never. Okay? So obviously out of his comfort zone. Okay? I'm kind of that way with Ethiopian. I mean, I've never had Ethiopian food, but I don't know. It's probably really good, but I think it's really spicy, so I better not. Okay? It's out of my comfort zone, really. I go for the Indian food, but have I ever had Ethiopian? Nah, just outside my comfort zone. Listen to a new playlist in a genre that you haven't really paid attention to, and stick with it. Me, I have a hard time with jazz, snappy jazz, and I sometimes, one time I posted, I'm not clever enough for jazz. And this was in a music snob group. And I immediately got attacked, okay? I was being a little sarcastic because I see Ron with his beret and, you know, snapping his fingers and all of that. But I really have, I listen to snappy jazz and I say, yeah, this is cool. I like this. Yeah, this is fun. The second song comes on, I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right, it's all right. The third song comes on, I'm done. You know, I'm done. I can do the, what is it, the mellow jazz or, you know, that kind of stuff. But that snappy jazz, so for me, that would be a good exercise for me, to listen to a whole album or a whole playlist of jazz and to just be open to it and experience it, okay? Is it going to change your life? Maybe, but probably not, okay? Is it going to stretch your comfort zone? Yeah, sure. Lori, I challenge you
I
to
knew this
listen
was
to
coming. I knew it.
a hip-hop playlist, okay? So that will be outside your comfort zone.
I got a playlist for you, Lori.
There you go. There you go. And then you'll be ready. You'll be like, Taj, when is your next event?
Some things are just taking it too far.
Okay, so Anne-Marie recommended a book this morning. Very cool. I love book recommendations.
Right here.
Right? Game changers. So go to a library or bookstore and ask someone at the desk or counter for a recommendation. Okay? So I usually read nonfiction. I do a lot of research in my occupation. I like to read business books. So Game Changers is right up my alley. But if you wanted to recommend to me a book about medieval knights and princesses slaying dragons and stuff, okay, so that would really be, I really wouldn't be interested in that.
I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone.
All right.
Might be
You got
taking
the
it a
point.
little too far.
So to get personal for a minute,
A short book.
update your look. Okay. Have you been dressing the same way for decades? Yes, I have. I have. I'm not going to tell you how old this top is. I wore one the other day and I said, shoulder pads? Really?
Oh my God.
So,
Back 80s.
so anyway, you may have noticed lately I've been wearing some colorful tunics. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been stretching my comfort zone by doing that because that's not really me.
And Crux Organizing can help you clean it out a little bit, right?
Yeah, get rid of those.
I need you to come over. We're going to go through my closet. Okay.
So next week we're going to see you in ripped holy jeans.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
With the ripped knees.
Dance hip hop with us. And I'll dance hip hop with you.
We're going to revisit that in a few minutes. Okay?
Yeah, I was like, who is this? I was like, oh, I gotta check my
Yeah, and you know, for instance, I will wear jeans to this event, but I have some old-fashioned ideas about, oh no, I'm presenting today, so I'll wear some slacks. I won't wear my jeans today because I'm presenting. Yeah. So think about how you express yourself and your mood through fashion and style. John's got some fresh locks this morning, I noticed.
Yes.
And, you know, changing your hairstyle around, you know, playing around with it a little bit, taking those risks, okay?
Or worse yet, what was I doing when I wasn't getting my hair cut? I wasn't really giving myself any self-care.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even notice you got a haircut.
Thanks, Lord. You're so
Thanks, I guess. Thanks, I guess.
No, but that goes to show that what were you so worried about getting your haircut for?
I wasn't worried about getting my hair cut, but I did recognize, I was like, wait a minute, I need to give myself a few minutes and go get my hair cut because I'm not taking care of myself.
Was it Tina's?
Okay, how does this food look to you guys? It looks interesting, doesn't it? Looks kind of scary to me, to be honest with you, but, you know. I wonder what my son Travis would say about this. Probably not fit for this audience, but anyway, okay, number 4. Now this is my favorite, most powerful way to stretch your comfort zone because it does involve writing and thinking, okay? So play devil's advocate. This exercise has actually a couple different benefits. Think of a controversial issue on which you have a strong opinion. There's lots of them available these days, okay? No shortage. Talk with someone that holds the opposite view.
Tell them what an idiot they
And,
are.
no,
Say that.
actually the other thing, focus on listening to their side of the debate. Hold your own value because you can do that, but listen to another point of view. Listen to it, feel it, try to get in touch with it. If this is terrifying, if it's too much, too soon, okay? Research and write an article arguing for the other side. And I have to do that quite frequently because I, of course, have views of my own and beliefs of my own. And I'm writing for a client who may not have those same views. I have to write in their voice. I have to write with conviction about things that I don't necessarily believe in because I'm writing for them. And I'll tell you, it's a great exercise in empathy as well because it really makes you think about how other people logically feel about a given topic. So I recommend that, and I challenge you to do that on some level. It doesn't have to be you know, a huge project or anything, but just,
And don't do it on Facebook.
I was just gonna
yes,
say that.
please don't do it on Facebook. My strategy on Facebook is to make you guess what my politics and my religion and my planted flags are. I don't like to show any of that stuff, and I like to be completely neutral, and keeps me out of trouble. Okay, so number 5, do the 3-step. Okay, I don't like going out in the evening, but I want to support Lori, and I want to do some vision board work. Okay, so you need to decide, you need to sign up, and you need to show up. All right, we're all here at a networking event. Go to a networking event that you don't usually go to. You know, if you go to morning and noon things, try one in the evening. Okay, stretch out a little bit, do something different. Now, number 6, reach out to a friend that you haven't talked to in ages. Does everybody here have somebody in mind? Maybe write down that name there. I've left a space for you to do that. The longer you go without talking to somebody, the more awkward it gets, true? The harder it gets to call them. Laura?
I always say it's never too late to send a thank you, so that's always a good start.
Right.
No one is mad when they receive a thank you late, so start there.
Good idea. You don't always have a fight. Sometimes you just drift apart. You were good friends, but you just kind of lost contact, okay? So doing this can help you move outside your comfort zone. Just resolve to move through the awkwardness. You may end up in the same situation you're in now. You don't rekindle a friendship, but think how rewarding, what the payoff could be. You know, if you can rekindle an old friendship that you once enjoyed. Right, exactly. Worst case scenario, you just stay at the status quo, okay? Take the scenic route. Go a different way to a familiar place. Take the road less traveled, okay? So, obviously, if you're in a rush, you know, you're not going to want to try a new route to go somewhere. But, first of all, try not to be in a rush, okay? Laura's backing me up on that, okay? Have your stuff organized. I've been hanging out with Laura too much. But anyway, try a different way. See what's, you know, we get stuck in our ruts driving, okay? The rut is another name for your comfort zone, all right? Now, let's get back to that journal. Contemplate your purpose in life. What are you dreaming of? Think vision board. If you have a vision board, take a good look at it and take a good look at what's standing between you and your dreams. If you don't have a vision board, come to Lori's workshop on
Not
Thursday.
tomorrow night.
It's not tomorrow night, it's on Thursday, okay? So remember that acting big requires thinking big. Stretching your comfort zone will pay huge rewards. Okay, you go to the gym, right? Why do you work out?
To look at people like that.
She's on a roll.
Totally joking.
This is my makeup call. This is for the ladies. My makeup call for the lizard brain presentation,
There you
where
go.
we got to see the sexy girls with the tires. Okay. So
I want to thank Cat.
That was.
I'll show you. I want to thank Cat for photoshopping someone else's head on my body. I'm kind of shocked.
more Ron.
Hey, I challenge everybody here to go to Ron's Facebook page and take a look at his photo from 1970. I challenge everybody here to look at Ron 1970. Also, you said something that is reminding me, stuck in a rut. That is a very negative connotation, to be stuck in a rut, but that is also the same thing as being stuck in your comfort zone. You're stuck in those two ruts when you're driving down the road.
Right.
Those where the tires have made those ditches. You're stuck in a rut.
I think about your comfort zone as a muscle, and that's what this is all about, and that's what this picture is all about. So I want you to think for a moment about and agoraphobic that cannot leave the house, okay? Think of where their comfort zone is. It's so tight that they can hardly move, okay? They're not comfortable with anything. It's all anxiety, it's all fear, it's all just, you know, pressing in on them, okay? Think about working out your comfort zone. You think of your comfort zone as a muscle. You want to stretch it, you want to strengthen it, you want to, you know, get used to using it. It's like, I'm gonna make the analogy of working out again. The more you work out, the easier it is to work out. Is that true? Okay, it's the getting started that is extremely difficult. Okay, that's where the most of your pain is, most of your hesitation, your resistance, your, I just want to go home and watch my stories. You know, I don't want to do all of this stuff. It's just too much. So pretty soon, your comfort zone is looking like this. Strong, powerful, flexible, okay? Now, I'm gonna go to just another diagram here. Yes, Laura?
Can I just add that sometimes what you consider a rut is just knowing thyself. And so, like I worked with a client overhauling her closet, and she was like, everything, you know, I need to get out of this rut. And we just found new ways to put things that she already had selected because they fit her body well, and we just put them in a different way. So she didn't need a complete overhaul, she just needed a little bit of a different perspective.
Right.
And I think especially the older I get, I'm like, nope, this is what works for me. It's not from a fear, it's from just, I know that is where I succeed. And it sometimes feels like a rut,
Right.
and I have to like reframe that.
And that's a lot of what we're talking about today, is not abandoning it.
Yeah.
Don't say, everything in my closet must go. You know, I need to start fresh. I need to get everything new and exciting in here, okay? But it's adding a couple pieces in. Maybe getting rid of some pieces that you haven't worn in 2 years, you know? Things like that. So we're just stretching, stretching, stretching. So in this diagram, you see your comfort zone, there you are. You see your stretch zone, you see your panic zone. So which is the most difficult transition to make? Anybody?
Comfort
Comfort to panic.
Actually, it's comfort to stretch, okay? Because when you're in your comfort zone and you think about moving to your stretch zone, what does it feel like to think about that? It feels like you're gonna be in the panic zone, okay? So this is the most difficult change to make. When you break through to your stretch zone, actually moving into the panic zone is not that tough. And in the panic zone, that specifically is where the magic happens, okay? You're taking the biggest risk. You're gonna get graded on risk here, okay? Not on your ability, but you're gonna get graded on risk, which is a beautiful thing, really. So that's your biggest payoff. This is your most difficult stretch. And I think that's it. Yep, we've got, this is the rest of the presentation. It's up to you, in other words, to jot down some thoughts on that. And I want to know if anybody has any questions or emotional outbursts.
Emotional outbursts. So the outfit that client was most terrified of when I laid it out was the one that she ended up loving the most.
Yes.
Because it was mixing, you know, 2 different prints together. She was like, oh no, and I was like, that's okay. And so we left it for her to try on the last, because I knew that she needed to work up to it. And she was like, oh man, why did I resist this? And
Right.
so it's that, like, the panic space is where that real magic happens. You just have to
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody here scared to use video in marketing?
Yes.
Anybody? You are?
It's a good
Okay.
example.
So it's a big thing. And I think that it's, I mentioned before, I sold computers in the 90s. I can't tell you how many people came in and said, I don't want a computer, I don't need a computer, I'm never going to use a computer. And now we all carry them around in our pockets. So just an interesting transition. So if you decided then in the 90s that you did not want to use a computer and you carried through with that thought, where are you today?
You're a dinosaur.
Not here. Yeah, exactly,
You're
exactly.
forgotten.
So video is the new computer, okay? You can say, I don't want to do that, I'm not comfortable with it. Will it come served in leaves? Will I have to eat it with my hands? Will I have to draw something I don't know how to draw? You know, all of those things, and it may be very real to you, but
The interesting part is the 16-year-old Pablo had no problem jumping in a car and going 100 miles an hour.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's way more complicated and way more risky.
And I did. I almost wrecked my buddy's car. Brand new Daytona.
There you go.
88 Daytona.
We marked him at 120 miles an hour, but he won't take a video, ladies and gentlemen.
well, I'll tell you something, and just a word of advice. When my son Tyler is my videographer, he does that professionally, and when he worked with me and we did my video and my videos went on the internet, I felt absolutely invincible. I broke right on through something that had terrified me. You know, I'm not 20 anymore. I don't weigh 110 anymore. I'm not cute anymore. You know, I'm a grandma. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I'm older. It's me in those videos. It's just me. It's just who I am. And you know, getting past that hurdle, because I was saying, I'm going to skip that whole using video and marketing thing. I'll wait till the next thing comes along, you know? But doing it actually was terrifying, but so empowering. It really is. That panic zone really is where the magic happens. Okay, sorry, enough about me. Go ahead, Lee.
So you've basically outlined the model or the theory behind GAP strategic planning, which says the world is changing around you. If you don't change, things are going to get worse.
Yep.
They just will. So that's why you've got to lay something out there that inspires you and motivates you, and you have to figure out what the rocks and the hurdles and the gaps are, and then you have to change yourself and that environment to get there. I mean, that's really what you're saying. We just can't sit and expect life to get better results. It doesn't work that way.
Gotta make it happen.
And the other thing is, there is another planning principle that says fail fast, right? Which means don't sit and overthink things about how risky they are and how hard they are. Ready, fire, aim. Just do it. Learn from it, because you'll then know what not to do, and the next time you're going to get closer to the target.
So whether you're in Katie's class or whether you're out there in the world, you're going to get graded on risk. So go for it. Ron.
I read a book a week. And once a month, I got a loose leaf binder, which I reread. I got Steve Black's handouts. I got Ken Fisher's investment tips. And I have Cat Harvey's notes. And I read them once a month, you know, to review. So can I hear an amen for Cat Harvey?
Amen.
Thank you. Anybody else? Henry?
I like that you did it with your grandson, or who was it with the video?
My son.
Your son, okay. Because that, I think, increases our safety zone tremendously if we can partner up with somebody, which we trust. And I think you really nicely did that, because that really made it much easier, I think, to jump into it and do it. So
Yes. Yes. I mean, he's a real pro, and he had to tell me, no, you can't look at the script. You know, he had to be firm with me and say, it messes up your eye line, and it, you know, and it does all of this. I'll see you Thursday.
See you later, everybody.
But, you know, at the same time, he was very good at coaching me on what I needed to do and things like that. So, you know, if you're going to do something like that and you're terrified, absolutely partner with somebody you know will be helpful, you know, and that you can be vulnerable with or feel vulnerable with.
Thank you all very much, Kat. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.